Good moaning.
You are a moaner, that's for sure.
I think they were like the day after the summit, and I'm feeling day after the summit.
What did I say? So people were saying they were kind of like on a come down or something, and I said,
Yeah.
What did I say?
And you were on a sum down.
Oh yeah, it wasn't as good. It
Doesn't
sound as good when you
no.
when you relay it back to me. I regret that now deeply.
Yeah. That's why I didn't really react when you said it. I was just like, yeah,
I was on a sum down, yeah.
Yeah,
all
sum
right.
down.
Anywho,
this is a charity shop. It's British Red Cross. They get Zara corporate donations, which I know everyone has an opinion about. I don't mind it so much.
we actually did the haul for this video yesterday. So
Yes.
this is backwards for the first time in our history.
Yes, it was, because we had a very busy weekend and we just couldn't do it. So we still managed to get a video out today, but they were disjointed. This is that hat. This is the Zadig and Voltaire hat. £3 paid, felted wool thing.
What do you call it? Like a trilby?
It would be a trilby, yeah. It's not a
It's
fedora.
not a fedora, no.
No, that would be a trilby.
I think there's a lot of people think that any hat with a kind of a strip of fabric around and some kind of brim or peak, they think is a fedora.
Yes, that is not true. And then you get the pork pie, which is like short and straight top.
That always reminds me of pork pie and Desmond's. Do you even know what that is?
No.
Pork pie. I'm going to put him in right here because you know what? Desmond's, for any people listening who remember Desmond's, you are absolute animals. It was an amazing show.
We should stretch to 100 on that hat, by the way. This is a shirt. It has got a mark on it, so it has gone to the wash. This is a tuck shirt. Now, this was really important.
Explain to me a tuck shirt.
Well, it's a style of shirt that would be worn in a black tie dress affair, like with
tuxedo,
a
if you will.
suit. And this is very interesting because it is a vintage Christian Dior shirt. Now, as you can see there, from there's a lovely label. It's a woven cotton fabric. I do think it has silk content. We won't get into that right now. And it's got the pleated front. So you would obviously, that would sit showing, and then you would have that belt thing, which I don't know what the name of it is at this very point.
Cummerbund.
Yeah, and then you would have obviously your tux, or you'd have
it makes me laugh.
a bow tie or some description. Now, this doesn't have a size and it doesn't have a wash label. And can you tell me why, folks at home?
I'll tell you what, shall I?
You tell me then.
Custom made, custom paid, custom mother fitted.
What's that from? Did you just make that up?
No, it's from, I think, a Ludacris song.
Oh, okay. Ludicrous. Yeah. Him. Anyway, so this is a custom made.
Area codes,
It
that's
would
what I'm
be
saying.
custom made shirt. So I said this at the summit very briefly because there was just too much to talk about at the summit. But don't be put off if there isn't a wash tag or an ingredients tag or a size tag, because when it comes to high end brands, depending on
They're
the
weird.
year,
They're
depending
weird.
on the time, depending on the piece, they all have different rules.
It's weirder to find a wonky one or one which looks really cheap than it is
Yeah.
not to find one.
We paid £12.50 because I would expect at least 120 back for it.
Right, I'm just going to put on record. I've said before, the only Ralph shirts I really even want to touch now in the wild, like shirts like this, are corduroy. This is corduroy. This is red.
Needle corduroy.
That's what the really fine corduroy is called, isn't it? And sorry if we seem a bit somber tonight. It's not that. It's just we are very tired. But this one was, for me personally...
Christmas.
Do you know what? Every year I pick up either a dark green or a red Ralph shirt. And to be quite frank, I don't think I ever wear them. But it's a nice store. I kind of want Home Alone vibes, like, you know, like the dad. But it just never works out that way. I think maybe like when I'm 104 years old, I'll do it with a whole sweater vest and be a vibe. But until then, I'll carry on buying them.
Burberry duffel as well.
Yeah. Go on anyway.
Anyway, I picked this up as we walked in the shop. We didn't pick it up because I'm not confident enough with this kind of stuff yet. But I sold recently a hand knit Fair Isle
hat,
and this was really £2.
If I'm honest, you say you're not confident enough. This wasn't as nice, if I'm truthful, as the one we had. The other one we had,
it was unbranded. That's what I say.
Yes.
We're brand people.
Yeah,
big in the brands.
So to pick it up for the sake of just picking it up, I see what you're saying. Yeah, the one we actually picked up, it was like a tight knit. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't like, it was more woven than knit.
It was like a felted boiled.
Yeah, a boiled wool would be the way to say it. Yeah, this was a backpack from
It's absolutely vile.
the 2000s, but it's in a good way though. It was a Nike backpack. It had really cool kind of shape. It looked almost like, you know, the ones which used to have one strap?
Yeah.
Which used to kind of put
It looks
crossbody.
like a giant lunchbox.
But it is old. It is cool. And it does, you know, it gives me kind of, it's like early 2000 vibes where everything was very moulded and very kind of spacey.
I found a Windsor London. They're called. I learnt the other day. I didn't learn the other day. I was looking at my soles. You won't even believe it. I was looking at my soles.
I will believe it.
And this is called a Grace Miracle dress.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it once on the listing, and then I've called it a wiggle dress ever since. But the wiggle dress is a thing that Diane von Furstenberg did. Oh, it's a long story, but that was £15 new with tags. I didn't pick it up, and I tell you for why.
For why?
It was a size 6.
I see what you did there.
Was it a size 6? It was a small size. It was small.
Look at this thing I picked up. This is beautiful.
This is an Arquette skirt. You'll know from our haul that we picked this up. It was £5. This is a size extra small, so I completely just contradicted myself. But it's a different kind of thing. All right, guys? I've got 3 wiggle dresses in stock.
Do you know what? Dresses, which are in smaller sizes.
It's because I have multiples in stock. I have multiples of that dress.
The wiggle dress, yeah, I agree.
So this was an extra small Arquette skirt. Arquette, amazingly enough, anyone who doesn't know, is made by H&M and other stories, and so is COS. However, this was in a cinnamon brown, and I actually really like it. I've listed it cinnamon brown.
Also, the fabric is like almost like a heavyweight shell.
Yeah, it's really nice. We pay £5. I've listed it for $45. I found this Joseph. I'm into Joseph. As everyone knows, I just sold Joseph's coat. I just
Sounds
sold
really
Joseph's
good.
knit. I'm having a moment with it. And I was more than happy to pick that up for £5. It's got like a staggered hem.
But the bearer of bad news found something to pick a hole in, didn't he?
He found the stain, and the stain man found the stain. Stain alert, stain alert.
It's like it's still alive.
Yeah, you got to sing it like a Bee Gees song.
I won't do it. I won't do it.
Stain alert, stain alert. That was good, actually.
Yeah. You should regret that instantly.
I should copyright that, trademark.
No, I don't think it's going to be a problem, I'm going to be honest with you.
Anyway, it's been listed. Then,
God.
Does anyone else do this when there's too much on the rack? You just pass them to the person you're with, or just put them on the floor?
No, they don't. Do you know why they don't do that? Because they don't have an assistant which is willing to deal with your rubbish whilst you're flicking through and finding the gold.
Well, maybe they need one. Worth the paycheck extra, PAY.
Whoa. I must be getting paid.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, I was showing this to make the point of, like you say, the rails in here are so crammed in a great way of great stock, but by the same token, it's like you can look through them.
Yeah.
I also think a tip for anyone who does have rails like these in their local charity shops, most people don't bother looking through them when they're this racked.
Yeah.
So take a few off, pass it either to someone you're with or on the next rail, go through them, and I guarantee you'll find something good, because we did.
So on this first row, I found a pair of Oshka culottes or crop trousers, extra wide leg with 100% linen, size 2 with the floral print. These have already sold, so we paid £6.50 for those, and they have sold for $75 plus postage.
I just realised I hadn't shown anyone the label, which I'm showing you now.
There we go. Well, voila. I also picked up some for Vanessa Bruno, and I mentioned in the haul, we went to Harvey Nichols.
We don't talk about
Bruno. We went to Harvey Nichols, and I was looking at the Vanessa Bruno section, and she's quite a pricey lady, She
ain't cheap.
She's an upmarket girl. Anyway, these were £10, but they were newer tags. They're more of what I would call a simple trousers. They got the zip detailing, but they are more of a
apart from that, they're a black tailored
look.
trouser. Yeah, I agree.
And
that's not a bad thing necessarily.
No, they're a size 8. They would have retailed for about $250 to $300. £10. I've listed them for $150.
But in that mental, people ask about brands and different things, and it's like that's not something we find every day. Vanessa Bruno, I know, but I'm saying they were like a £200-300 trouser.
Yeah,
just sat there when you were tags,
just chilling.
And do you know why? Because no one can get through the bloody, the rail. That's the problem. It's true, isn't it? Those 2 rails which are crammed were some of the best rails we found.
Yeah, I really like trousers. I don't know. I never used to like listing jeans. I still don't like listing jeans, but trousers I've got a thing about.
People should look more in the trousers. And I know this is a random thing to say because everyone's like, well, it's clothes. No, they don't. If you have to pick something and you're running in quickly, I promise you don't go straight to the trousers.
Tell me down below in the comment box what do you avoid? Let's get it out.
Well,
I avoid skirts.
Okay.
I rarely do skirts because I find them really difficult to look at the brand tag.
Okay.
They're not as easy as trousers. These are some Oshka trousers in orange. These are slightly more worn. They got like a slight, what I call a linen fade.
Someone on the gram tagged us that they had the jacket of this.
Yeah, but their jacket was slightly pinker.
Okay.
I think it was more of a coral.
Okay, don't buy that and buy these and have a set because you're going to be different colours.
They got a really cool wide, like long pocket. They were also $6.50, and I've listed those slightly less. I listed those for $65 just because of that slight linen fade.
Okay, yeah. I mean, with Oshka and stuff like that, I do think the look is not necessarily faded, but I think it's more of like a warm.
I don't think anyone will mind.
Yeah,
but
look,
from the perspective of
if they're black, is
new,
different. Black worn just looks like black worn. You know what I mean? But like, I think that kind of color, like all those kind of linen, they have a kind of, I don't know, the texture in itself looks one to start with.
What don't you look through, by the way?
What do I? Oh, geez, Louise, hard goods, if I'm honest.
Yeah, you're never going to break your back, do you?
So
what are these?
These are a pair of 2001 crumbling Air Max 95s. This would have been one of the first releases after the original, obviously, 95 release. These were men's size, which is really random because they did a couple of different colourways. And most of the colourways with neon colours, as in the Vault, with this like the yellow they're known for, and the high-vis pink like this is, usually came in black. So they weren't like, they were a general release, obviously, but they were a lot less, not as many units sold of this colour. The air bubbles were absolutely done for and the soles are crumbling. However, as I said in the haul, a lot of people in the sneaker community, especially for rarer shoes, because once again the tongue says the date, the actual colorway hasn't been reissued in the same form. Will sole swap them, which basically means they'll get soles from other shoes, newer shoes, so they can actually either wear them or totally recondition them and make them look as they were done in 2001.
Also, the condition of these would suggest that they haven't barely been worn, and they're just being stored.
Yes, so although they're crumbling, and that does make them look great, if you actually look at the soles here, the soles themselves are gone kind of hazy, but they're actually really, really clean. Like there's not any really sole damage or any issues there. And the uppers were insane. Speaking of insane, this is insane. Would pretty much what's going to happen in the next kind of couple of minutes.
How much would you expect for those shoes?
As they are now, probably 120 quid. And I know people are going to be shocked by that, but that's a crumbling mess of a shoe. And I have someone who I sell a lot of sole swaps to. I still haven't spoken to him because we've been, like you say, busy over the weekend. But it is what it is. Bethany right now has just found what I would call a grail.
Do you know what? I thought...
You look at how slowly you're doing it because you know exactly what it is.
Yeah, but I didn't... For a minute, it wasn't computing in my brain. So I was looking at it thinking, this has got loads of components to it. Like, it has the bolts on the sides. I didn't even read the strap. I'm not going to lie to you. And I thought, it's in Stefano leather, which is a cross-boarded leather. So basically, what it means is the leather that's been coated in plastic and then printed into, if that makes sense.
I love how I had to do that because it annoyed me straight off the bat where it should be.
So it's called the binder bag, and I would call that a dog clip.
Yeah, but it's what you'd put on, OGs would put on a binder. That's why.
And someone had put it on the side of the bag, but it was meant to be in the middle there. It had been misplaced a few times. There was a little bit of a dentage issue on the front where the clasp is, but it's nothing too serious, if that makes sense.
Even this close and this terrible of footage, because obviously at this point I'm looking for myself and not necessarily with all due respect for the camera. You can see close up how the details are all perfect, like the stitching, the lining, the ink and the edge and the actual leather. Like everything about it is just really, really nice.
And these bags by Off-White are what I would call overdone. So there's a lot of components to them. Not overdone in a negative way, but overdone in they've got like a little strip inside. They've got a tag inside. They've got in a pocket inside. Then they're printed on the leather. Then they've got the zip pulls. Then they've got the...
Even this little kind of greeny, kind of turquoisey, almost Tiffany-esque colour.
Yeah, the dongle.
Yeah, it basically kind of matches the dust bag and their general kind of company colours, so it's just cool anyway.
Normally the tags come on it.
They do indeed.
Store tags. They make loads of variations of this bag. I'm talking big, small, mini, striped, black, white.
Different hardware.
Yellow, like every colour.
Different kind of leather, different kind of fabrics.
Yeah, so this is in a Stefano leather, which is a cross-bordered leather. So essentially what happens is it's a leather which is coated in a plastic-like substance and then printed into to create a grain. They say it is more hard-wearing than a traditional leather. Prada uses this leather a lot, for example.
They call it Stefano, as you said.
Yeah, but the more popular one of this colour is a smooth leather, which is prone to marking. However,
I'm quite glad, to be honest, in this occasion, I'm quite glad it wasn't, because I think in the charity shop, yeah, especially with that clip.
100%. They retail anywhere between 800 and 1.1, depending on 1.1 thousand, depending on what style and shape and colour and size you get. However, the resale on them is anywhere from about 380 to 550.
You mentioned obviously the condition as regards that kind of front clip.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, once the clip now is where it should be, is minimal. You don't notice anything. It's not anything torn or anything like that. So I think that's very minimal issue, you know.
However, it couldn't be sold as like new without tags or new unworn. So I'm gonna go middle range and I'm gonna go 450, 475.
We're also missing dust bag, box, etc., etc. So I think that's a valid point. It's a good price.
But I will be cross-listing to Vestiaire, eBay, and Depop.
We haven't done a off-white bag on Vestiaire yet of any kind of notoriety, have we? Which would be interesting to see how it goes.
No, it's not something you tend to pick up readily. Like obviously,
definitely not charity shop vibes.
Shops.
Yeah.
However, they keep their price really well, so you don't even see it really on.
Which is very very interesting to me, based on the fact that they have not only discontinued the bag, but also it is it's like a new score classic.
For what I can find, the last one was sold in spring summer 22. So I expect they started like dwindling them out then, I guess.
I'm guessing that's what it was. That was the last kind of, yeah, okay, I'm with you.
To be honest, it's probably one of those reoccurring ones though that will come back and they just like leave off for a season or something like that. So don't at me with the discontinued, but they're not readily available full price.
Well, when we say discontinued, sometimes, to be fair, it is discontinued as of now. You can't buy them brand new now. Anyway, going back to that, there was an Elton John shirt there was a Coldplay shirt, and that was all I have to say on those, really.
One of the bad t-shirts can go for okay money. It's just not £1,000. Oh, by the way, that was a Ralph Lauren corduroy, thick corduroy, purple little tote bag, really cute. Normally sell on Depop, that kind of style.
Once again, if you want to see more of that, how much?
$2.99.
How much off-white again?
$4.99.
Like,
so $4.99 into $4.50 would be all right.
I mean, that's 100x.
Yeah, day's work, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll do for me. It'll do for me. I also think, do you know what? A lot of the time when we talk about kind of 10x or whatever we try and make, like, once again, this isn't a daily occurrence. It's not something we see every day. But when you do find them, it's very, very nice.
Oh yeah. So this is a Harris Tweed, like, I don't know, coat wallet. So the coat wallets are the long wallets, traditionally menswear. I was just pondering this with Austin for 1 minute. How close is that to the Vivienne Westwood orb?
If you add like a kind of like a more like a ring round satin kind of ring to it, because I know it does kind of have that like oval shape around it.
I wonder if they've got the same influences, because obviously Vivienne Westwood is influenced from the crown jewels.
Yep, obviously.
And Harris Tweed is a age-old British brand, so maybe they have influences.
Who knows?
I don't know. I just was pondering upon that.
You're quite a ponderer, aren't you, really?
Yeah, I like history. I like knowing stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know what you mean.
I call it pub quiz ammo.
Yeah, and then you kind of like you call on it when you least expect to call on it, and all of a sudden someone's wowed with your knowledge.
Does anyone know where the term gibberish comes from? Don't Google it.
I do.
Yeah,
because you told me.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching, my lovely peoples. If you haven't watched the haul, then you can now watch the haul. You can watch this and go back to the haul. And until the next time,
salute you.
Salute you. That's a weird one. Okay.
Bye.